Good morning. So today is going to be a bit of a different video, but I feel like it's also a really important video at the same time. Someone asked, I made a community post on my main channel, and I was like, hey, I'm going to be doing some more videos on my second channel. What are some things you want me to talk about? So this was one of them. Thank you. Oh, no, OBS is not working. So BBFam55, thank you for the question. It just says your testimony question mark, which is actually a really interesting question because I have not I'm trying to think. I don't think I've talked about that necessarily. Um so yeah, today we're gonna talk about my testimony sort of and how basically I'm the last person I feel like honestly when I say this I'm not saying this for the sake of I think the word is hyperbole. That's such a big word. Hyperbole. I'm like for what? I'm the last person who should ever be in front of a camera. And I I've for so long have been terrified of people and just talking and that whole thing communication. And I'm not it's not like I've have it figured out at all, but when I say I'm the last person, I literally mean that. So I guess you have to that what is it, harp music and go back so many years kind of. I'm 19 currently. And I guess I don't even know where to begin. Honestly, I feel like this is such a this started when I was so young. I remember distinctly being in church. Okay, this is like a church that we went to a while ago before we moved and stuff. And my parents put me in children's ministry, which is a thing. Personally, I don't like children's ministry because of this probably. Um, Basically during the main service, the kids they go somewhere else to have their kids lesson. I guess I don't know. So I distinctly remember basically be getting in trouble because I did not want to go, and it's not because I didn't want to be part of the service. It's that I didn't want to be apart from my parents, basically, and apart. To me, that was just the most terrifying thing in the world, especially and basically being with a whole bunch of random kids. Um, that was the worst possible situation. If you're making a movie and you want to find the worst possible scenario to put your main character in, that was that for me. When I was I guess 5 years old, I don't know. And something from that I actually think about to this day is it's just so stupid. It's so small. I remember there was this cool kids, and I was going to talk about this actually in my most recent video on my main channel, but I cut it. Honestly, I cut it. I was like, this isn't fitting, but um, I, there was this kid, this group of cool kids, I guess I don't know, and I wanted to join them. I didn't know it was the group of cool kids, but they're I remember they were under this table, and I was like, I can't remember what I said. I was the standoffish kid, the very introverted kid who didn't want to. I was just there. I was like, help, get me out of here. And I wanted to join them, but they were like, "Oh, this is only for kids that are 7 and older," something so stupid. I was like, "Dude, this is so looking back, it's so dumb." But I years and years later, still remember that. I don't know why it's so dumb, but yeah, that fear of just humans and people and interactions, it got worse. It did not get better. It got worse and worse and worse. And being homeschooled, I don't know if I mentioned that yet. For people who don't know, yes, I was homeschooled. Um, that didn't help necessarily. I mean, I'm so thankful I was homeschooled, and I probably would have shriveled up into a infinitely small atom if I was public schooled. It's not. I mean, just being honest. Um, seriously, I'd be thought children's ministry would be bad for me. Public school would be so much worse for me. Um, I I I don't know where to even go next, honestly speaking. But yeah, well, I guess I because the question was something about my my testimony, right? um I guess yeah, we could tie that back into that. That fear of man definitely was that's something I've kind of come, I don't want to say full circle because I've not figured it out at all, but I've been freed from that a lot, especially in the last 3 years, 2 years, and especially like more and more so. Like and it's so freeing. It's so freeing. But yeah, back to my testimony, I guess. Um, like when I don't have a day when I was like, oh, this is the day I was saved. Um, which which has pros and cons, right? And I was probably I really don't know exactly like, oh, I was this year's old necessarily. It was much more of a process for me. Um, but I was baptized 10 years ago actually, just kind of crazy. I remember that very distinctly. It was very I knew I wanted to be baptized. I knew I wanted to be a Christian for like the longest time, but I just um if you guys watch, my main videos, right? You guys know I'm an expert at overthinking, right? So, in that spirit, I like overthought things so much. Like, I remember, I feel like I was probably like 7 or something. My mom like drew out just trying to explain to me like how does this work, right? Like, we're on Earth and like Jesus bridges the gap between like heaven and earth, basically, like with a cross. And I remember her drawing that. I was like, and yeah, with like overthinking, I don't know, I had a lot of I don't know what the best word is, but I guess doubt almost, and not doubt that it was real, but doubt that I like personally, like I I guess maybe I felt like I had a lot to change, and I did, but like yeah, I don't know, just there was a lot of, yes, I doubt, and um yeah. So fast forward, I guess. Eventually, I was like, you know, I remember, yeah, being baptized because the church we were going to was in the school. Then we ended up going to this like random church. Like the whole congregation like somehow transferred into. I don't know how it worked. I was little, so I was 10, I guess. But I just remember there was this guy there. He was like, "Oh, there's ice cubes in the baptism." I was like, "What?" There wasn't, thankfully. But yeah, that was really good. For like even then, I was like super nervous, and which is natural, right? You're going in front of a bunch of people. Of course, there's a bunch of other people, right, who are also going up. But yeah, even then, I was just like, for me, those sort of things are just kind of like gut wrenching, kind of. But that actually, it wasn't the worst then. I feel like the worst, my fear of just talking to people was like there actually wasn't that bad, not gonna lie. I feel like my bad memory probably. It was probably just like 2017, 2018, like I don't know, man. Something I would get like literal visceral pain just like thinking about like going to a group setting. I feel like it was bad. It was really bad. I'm not gonna lie. This is after I was saved and stuff, but um, yeah, I guess it's just been like such a process for me to just get to the point where I am now. And I'm really thankful, I guess. Um, and that, I guess with that pain, just like, so I even going to church sometimes, like I would literally like hunched over, it was just this cramping pain that just wouldn't go, and I guess it was fear that, oh no, people are gonna like look at me weird. And it's so dumb. It's so dumb, really. But it was very real for me. It was so real for me, and I thought it was a digestive thing. Like we tried all sorts of things, like all sorts of things. Um, and none of that really. I mean, some things helped a little bit. Some of it, I'm sure everyone has like legit like with everything we're like dumb we eat. Yeah, of course, everyone has some digestive problems, but it didn't fix it, like seriously. And I know how crazy this is gonna sound, but the best thing that ever, I don't say ever happened to me necessarily, but what really the turning point for me was deciding that I'm gonna put myself out there and start actually on the second channel. Before it was I've changed the name of this channel so many times, it's bad. At first this is my brother's channel. He made comedy skits on it. And then that became Whitney Bros, and then WF Studios 2.0, and now it's called Joshua Whitney 2. Who knows what it's going to be called by the time you're watching this, but I started recording videos, and this is kind of, I knew I needed to change, you know? It's like I knew the problem. I knew I cannot function at all like with this absolutely massive fear of people, with this, horrible pain whenever I like go into a group setting. Like it was bad, man. It was so bad. And yeah, I knew I needed to change, right? But I didn't know how necessarily, and I knew I also wanted to do a series where I worked on making videos and stuff. But I basically all my life I never wanted to be on camera. Um, Especially as I went into my short film journey, I guess I didn't want to be on the camera, and the part of that is the fear, man. Once again, so yeah, I don't know where that was going necessarily, but long story short, I started recording just random vlogs to get better at talking. That was my justification, and now my stomach is growling. Okay, hopefully you can't hear that on the microphone. Probably can't actually. Surround sound. Anyway, sorry. So I think those vlogs are still up right now, and they're bad. They're so bad. Like literally sit down in front of the camera, no editing, and just talk. And for some reason, getting my thoughts out, being honest with myself about things. I didn't even post them all probably, but I guess the Lord really used that. He really did. And I started to, like, I'd have a very hard time holding a 2-minute conversation, I feel like. And slowly, I worked my way up, with the video length, and like I got up to something like, well, I don't know if the camera actually finally turn off. Our old camera would turn off after 20 minutes, I feel like. This one actually does also, I think. Except I'm recording with OBS now, so unlimited time, let's go. I like have the battery, like dummy battery and stuff. So like literally I could record all day like this, technically speaking, which is really awesome. Great setup. Anyways, that was so off topic, sorry. So yeah, like recording those videos like started to really change me, I feel like. Like it sounds weird to say that, but like now if I have to talk to someone, I can just, I don't want to say put on that persona, but like I'm not as terrified, I feel like. And that is so freeing. It really is. And yeah, I'm just really thankful for that, I guess. So when I say I'm the last person who should be in front of a camera, and the last person, yeah, to really be doing anything actually, I'm not joking. I really am not. And sometimes I forget, I forget like, whoa, like that was me, like I literally, it was, yeah, I was like, I guess I really embraced identity of an introvert, like, and thinking, oh, I'm an introvert, so I can't do this. Bad. Don't do it. Like, seriously, just don't. Try not to, yeah. And while it is true, there are introverts and extroverts, I do feel like I've made myself an introvert a lot of the time. Like, just my mindset going into things, and yeah, just fear, dude. Fear. So, yeah. I'm very, very thankful to be, I don't know if I could say, yeah, I guess freed from that. I didn't even know it was a problem often, but it was, and now I think I feel like I'm going in circles now at this point. But I'm very thankful to be free from that. So yeah, that's, I guess, kind of a little bit of my testimony. Less of how I came to faith and more of the process of sanctification, I guess, a little bit, like just part of that. And I want to be more open, with like my faith. Like yeah, I guess we're gonna come back into the video. Okay, cool, we're not done. Never know where I'm gonna go, I guess. The stream of consciousness is scary sometimes. No, the yeah, I want to be like more open, and I guess I believe that I feel like we need more Christians to get, well, number one, be open about their faith, and two, to be making, like, to be living their lives basically. And I feel like right now the Lord's placed me here to well, I'm not sure necessarily to do what, but like I feel like making a movie is like one thing, which is cool, but like I feel like I don't know, documenting the journey and doing that whole thing, and like I feel like there's so much darkness in like the creative world, especially with like Hollywood and stuff. Like, dude, it's so dark. Seriously, I hate that sort of stuff. Sorry. Um, like I want to be a light basically, and I want to be open to whatever the Lord has for me. Like literally, tomorrow, I feel like the Lord's telling me like, we're done. You know, time to move on to something completely different. I want to be okay with that. I want to be okay with, I have to delete my channel now. Okay, we're doing that. Um, like literally, I'm yeah. I just want to be open. You know, like whatever whatever He has for me, I want to be. I want to be able to be like, yes, Lord, I'm willing to do this, which is really freeing actually. Like seriously, it is freeing. So yeah. That's all I got for you guys. If you have any other questions, I guess drop them in the comments. Yeah. Hopefully that was somehow kind of coherent. I wanted to make a video like this for so long, and I just haven't had the opportunity maybe, and haven't had the context to do it. And so I'm very thankful that you kind of asked that question. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys. Bye bye. Enjoy the journey. Check out my channel, whatever. Bye. Bye.